Good morning. Hope you're having a great day like I am. We're in South Carolina and the temperature is about 78. We have had an extremely mild summer. We have not had a lot of days in the hundreds, which is typical of this area in the summer. So it's nice. There's a little cool breeze. We're at 8:30 in the morning and it's beautiful. We're getting ready to start golf school, being a Monday morning, and the students are going to have nice weather to have their golf school in July. So today, Tuesday we do course management, and because this week is dedicated to Jordan Spieth's victory, I wanted to talk about the course management standing on the final tee. So Jordan Spieth had a 2-stroke lead going into that final hole. So he was standing there with his caddy, and I had already said to Rosemary, I hope he hits an iron off this tee. He can make a 5 here, which forces Matt Kuchar to make a 3 to tie. That 18th hole is the second longest par 4, or closing hole, sorry. It's the longest closing hole. I think Carnousties 18 is longer, but it's the second longest closing hole in the British Open Rota. So the chances of Matt getting a 3 were pretty slim. So he wanted to play for a 5. He hadn't been driving the ball well, and he did the right thing. He took out a hybrid, maybe it was a 3-iron, and he just played a nice little shot down the fairway. It actually ended up rolling about a foot into the second cut, but in position A. At that point, I knew that he'd now won the Open Championship. But Matt Kuchar still had a tee shot to hit, and it was critical that Matt A hit the fairway, and B, there was no time here for him to play safe. What he needed to do, and which he did, was pull out the driver. He needs a birdie. He could have made a 7 and still got second place. So there was no risk in his part on taking the driver. The mistake he made was he normally cuts the ball, and the wind was blowing from left to right. His aim was poor. He aimed the ball just down the left edge of the fairway, and it cut over into the thickish rough, and that made hitting an iron into the green. A was in the wrong angle. The pin was on the wrong side of the green for him. It literally took 3 out of the equation. He had to start that ball into the rough on the left with the wind, and his cut would have brought him back to the middle. When he missed that fairway, again, it was pretty much all over. But here's the thing that you can learn from. When there is no risk involved, where even if you hit a bad tee shot, it's not really going to matter much. In other words, if you're playing match play and you're 2 down with 2 to play, that's the time to pull out the driver. Sometimes if you're 2 up with 2 to play and you're the person that's up, the time there is to maybe play safe and take an iron and hit down. I recently played with a student of mine, and he keeps all his stats of all the holes on the golf course. And he said to me, oh, number 2 is definitely the worst hole for me. My average is 6.2. Now it's a par 4, so he's 2.2 strokes over par on that hole. And I said to him, well, what are you doing about it? And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, how do you lower it from 6.2 to 5.2? How do you take 1 stroke off that hole? He hadn't even thought about it. So the right thing there would be try something else. Try hitting a 3-wood off the tee. So if there's a hole on your golf course that gives you trouble, change the way that you play it. Sometimes try and play it with an iron. There's a par 5, the golf course that I teach in Mexico, there's a par 5 that has a river going across with the tee shot, and there's another, the river winds back and comes across the front of the green. If you hit a very, very good tee shot, the ball can reach that first river. If you don't, but you hit a poor second shot, you can go into the river short of the green. So after making many mistakes and making many 6s and 7s on that hole, I changed the way that I played that hole. It's the 6th hole at Club de Golf Malinalco, and I hit a 4-iron off the tee. And the members that I was playing with were very surprised, you know, why are you hitting a 4-iron off the tee? I said, because I want to make a 5. I took another 4-iron, and I was able to clear the first river but be short of the second river. What did it leave me? It left me with a sand wedge in my hand for the third shot. Nice full sand wedge into the green. Since I've been doing that, I have never made a higher than a 5. I make a 5 most of the time. Occasionally, if I hit my sand wedge close or I sink a long putt, I'm going to make a 4. But for 2 years, I've been playing that hole that way when I've been down there. Never made a bogey. So change the way you play the hole. You're going to lower your scores, which will in turn lower your handicap. Try it.